So who do you think was the most intriguing player in the 2024 NBA draft? Take a wild guess. I'll let you think about it. I'll be right back.
I can't say anymore. I'm probably already in trouble for mentioning it to well, we call you normies.
So this comes from none other than...
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
ESPN. The question was raised, who was the most intriguing player in the NBA draft? Now, there's a panel here. There are Stephen A. Smith, Brian Windhorst, Mad Dog Russo, and of course, Molly Quorum here. Now, Stephen A. Smith is going to go first and give his answer, and Mad Dog will come back with his rebuttal. And Mad Dog comes off the top rope, I must tell you, all right? So we're going to go with Stephen A. Smith's take first, and then we'll roll into Mad Dog Russo. I probably had to fast forward through Stephen A. Smith's take a little bit because it gets a little lengthy. But you see the fair use banner here. This is a YouTube video, so I have to get my fair use clause. So for all of you, stop playing the video ninjas. For all of you, let the video play ninjas.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
I will leave a link to this video in the description box for you to watch without my commentary or interruption, all right? If you're still here, thank you for your time and viewership and fair use.
I mean, look at the superstars in the league. Tell me this, who's the most intriguing player in this draft?
Easily Bronny James.
Nope.
Easily. Because nobody's thinking about anything but Bronny James. You've got the two projected top 2 picks in the NBA draft being dudes from France that most of us have never heard of. We're not implying that they can play. We're not implying that Bronny James is the player that they have already proven to be. We're not saying that. The operative word here is intriguing. You're wondering where he's going to land. You're wondering why he's going to land the place that ultimately he may end up landing. What's going on behind the scenes? You're hearing the Lakers. You're hearing the Dallas Mavericks. You're even hearing the San Antonio Spurs. That, you know, you're hearing about a bunch of teams, potentially, I shouldn't say a bunch, just a few that are definitely interested. Of course.
Now, this was before the draft, and Stephen A. Smith was right. The most talked about player, I won't say the most intriguing, but the most talked about player was indeed Bronny James. Of course, because of his dad, in my opinion, not really because of his skill level. It was to me, it was the same thing with Lonzo Ball when he came in. There was a huge amount of expectation because of how his dad had him hyped up with all of the superstars, and he was better than LeBron. He was talking to Magic Johnson, and to his dad's credit, he got his son in the league. He got Melo in the league too. Now, of course, Melo had that thing with some stolen goods in a foreign country, and a certain individual that's running for president now allegedly campaigned to get him out. Whatever. But in any case, there is a lot of hype behind Bronny James now that he has been drafted, 55th overall, of course. And yes, I would say the most intriguing, but the most talked about, the most publicized individual in this draft was indeed Bronny James.
You've got Klingon and others at UConn. You got a couple of players from UConn, a couple of players, Dillingham and others from Kentucky. You got a couple of players from France. There's some interesting players in this draft. And obviously, from an intriguing standpoint in terms of their capabilities, yes, they're considered the better players. That's why they're going to be lottery picks. Yep. But everybody is anxious to see what's going to happen with Bronny James. Is he going to get drafted? If so, where? If they go to a particular place, why? Does these teams believe that they got an opportunity to get LeBron James, who's already declared that he would love to play with his son in the NBA, even though he's backtracked from that to a certain degree? That's all I'm saying here. The operative word here is intrigue. We ain't talking about just basketball. If it was basketball, in terms of talent, obviously that's not the answer to this question.
Now, we know that by now, Bronny James got picked in the second round, 55th overall, all that, all right? We know the Lakers took him. And most of the hype is behind his dad, as I said before. We all know the stats that Bronny James got out prior to him getting in the NBA, the time he was at USC and the time he was in high school, of course, the heart defect and all those kind of things. Again, Stephen A. Smith is making the case that the most intriguing player is Bronny.
But when you use the word intrigue and you think about the multitude of storylines that come associated with this person, Bronny James, to me, is the most interesting thing going on. We're all waiting to see what happens with his name.
Okay, let me back this up just a tad, because this is where Mad Dog Russo comes in off the top rope on Bronny James. Watch what Mad Dog Russo is about to say. Okay, just listen up. Of course, you can give me your opinions down in the comment section after you saw this segment. All right, let's go. For just $5 a month, please consider becoming a member of Welcome to Normieville. There you will find access to members-only videos and members-only live streams, as well as a host of other perks. Thank you for your consideration. Back to the video.
To see what happens with his name.
You might be. I am not. He would not even play on UConn past year.
Wow.
He would be on the bench with Danny Hurley's kid. He wasn't better than Newton. He's not better than Spencer, and he's not better than Castle.
Nobody said.
Woo. Mad Dog saying that this guy wouldn't even have played. He wouldn't even got no playing time in the college if it was up to him, because he was that, again, we're just going off the numbers, mediocre. Okay? Let's continue.
Said he is.
Well, hold on now. But you are talking about him as a draft possibility, and he would be the fourth guard on UConn. Newton's not getting drafted. The point guard who won 2 championships. This is a guy who, in a horrendous conference on a terrible team, averaged 4.8 points a game on 36% shooting. I mean, this is on USC. He didn't do this at Duke. This is at USC. I mean, if Bronny James' father was a... No, hold on now, Stevie. If LeBron James is not his father, would anybody care about Bronny James?
The answer is no.
Nope.
We would not care.
Nope.
If LeBron wasn't his father, would we be talking about Bronny at all, even the slightest bit?
Nope.
That is the facts, ladies and gentlemen. All the hype behind Bronny is because of LeBron. Now, again, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not hating, but that is the facts. If my dad was LeBron James and I was getting ready to go in the draft, guess what? Everybody's talking about me. Just like if it was Michael Jordan's son or Kobe, whoever, rest in peace. If you are, LeBron is still like what, top 3, top 5 player in the NBA, legendary player overall. His son is benefiting, whether he likes it or not. His son is benefiting from that popularity, from the association, if you will, with his father. Can't deny that.
Well, then let's be honest. Let's call it like we see it. I know that's difficult to hear.
We are doing it.
That's a very fair point.
You see Brian Windhorst over there too, right? He ain't saying a whole lot. He got his fingers crossed. He's like, man, you can't be saying that, Mad Dog, bro. Like, come on, man. I got to talk to LeBron after this, bro. Like, you can't be doing that. LeBron gonna call me later. I'm like, what the F was that? You know what I mean? Like, chill.
It's a fair question.
He would not be even an issue. Nobody would care. His father's the reason there's intrigue. That's the only reason.
Time out. But that's what I'm saying. I'm not denying that. I'm not going to disrespect the kid. I'm going to remember that there was a cardiac arrest last summer and that he didn't play until January. I'm going to remember, I mean, you're talking about the dude like he's 100% healthy, came into college and did absolutely nothing. No, he almost died.
And you see that look that Brian Russo has in his face. Mad Dog Russo has in his face right now. He has a look in his face like, I don't give a about none of that. None of that F crap matters in relation to him getting drafted. Like, yeah, it was a bad situation to happen, but Mad Dog, like, man, I don't care about none of that. We talking about his skills, the numbers he had prior to him coming to the NBA is garbage. Now, again, like I said, he had issues. He had a hard thing, to happen that shortened his time to play. Bronny made a decision to enter the draft. It is what it is.
He was out for half the season. He comes in January. I'm not saying that we saw something and, oh, my God, this guy, his credentials on the basketball court is worth it. But in the same breath, you do have to take that into consideration. You also have to take into consideration the fact that LeBron James is his father. And LeBron James is still playing. And LeBron James is about to approach free agency. And LeBron James has declared he would love to play with his son. And on top of it all, the Lakers with the 55th pick, who knows what they're going to do just because LeBron James wants them to do it. Who knows what the Boston Celtics are going to do at the 54th pick? Who knows what Dallas is going to do? Who knows what a team with bigs where the focus on Embiid or Jokic in terms of having a big where your offense goes through, that you can afford to take a chance on a young talent that's known for that believes that have some level athleticism and prioritizes defense and what have you, and they're looking at the upside and to bring him along. I'm saying, yes, he has not proven himself on the basketball court on a collegiate level. And yes, if he were not LeBron James' son, we would not be talking about this.
And those are all the reasons that he is talking about, Stephen A. Of course, because like I talked about yesterday with Rachel Nichols, if you talk bad about LeBron or his son, you might be outside of the tree of trust. But Stephen A is walking the line, of course, because he is he's the number one guy at ESPN, and he still wants to remain in the small circles, the inner circles that nobody else can be in. And so Stephen A. Smith has to remain somewhat even with his commentary or his opinions about LeBron and Bronny, even though he knows the truth as well.
But the fact that he is, and with LeBron James having said what he has said, that's what makes it interesting. And we can't forget, as much as we want to sit up there and talk about the lack of the credentials, let's at least acknowledge the kid almost died. Thank God he's still here. Cardiac arrest, and he's out. And then he comes back in January. We're acting like he's been 100% healthy, no issues, and was just riding the bench like Stephen A or somebody. No, that is not what happened with Bronny James. Bronny James almost died.
Okay, I'm not going to go any further into it, but I think Russo does not speak any more about this afterwards. Brian Windhorst gives his little take or whatever. We don't really care about Brian Windhorst. But Mad Dog sitting there looking like, yeah, I hear you, Stephen A., but I ain't buying it. I don't care what y'all say. Most intriguing player, really only because of his dad, is Bronny James. All right, yes, he's the most intriguing player, in my opinion, but only because of certain facts and associations, if you will. So I just want to bring that to y'all attention. I know this is an old video. This happened prior to the draft. I wanted y'all to see Mad Dog's response or his take on Bronny as far as the draft is concerned. And to me, this kind of goes further to Bronny as a player in general, okay? Which a lot of people think that way. Some people are afraid to say it. Some people are saying it, and they're risking getting put outside the circle. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? Whatever you on your heart, I guess, okay? So, with that being said, thank you for attending another episode of Normieville. You know me, I'm just Normie, here to bring you the latest and greatest in sports, news, entertainment, and politics. Let me know what you think about Mad Dog's opinion down in the comment section. And please, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell on your way out of the door. And I will see you on the next video.